Hey everyone, just recording an update video for you guys. Around 2 weeks ago, I passed a $200,000 Blue Guardian challenge. This was actually the first challenge I'd taken with Blue Guardian. It was a little bit turbulent at times because I think halfway through for my phase 2, they'd actually changed over to C Trader at that time. But of course, that wasn't really their fault. A lot of prop firms were going through this in Q1 where they were losing their MetaTrader licenses, I think. I've had an overall positive experience with them, and the spreads were surprisingly good. I was quite impressed by the spreads, which is something that's quite important to me. Sometimes it even executed at a better price than my live IC Markets account, which was quite funny. Yeah, so in this video, I'll be going over the dashboard. I'll be giving you my thoughts and opinions, whether or not I recommend Blue Guardian, and I'll also briefly touch on my trades at the end. But if you do want to see these trades in more detail, you should watch this video here. So I've got my phase 1 account above me here, and I actually started this challenge in December. And in December, Blue Guardian had slightly different evaluation models. So this account actually has a 10% max drawdown, an 8% phase 1 profit target, and a 4% phase 2 profit target. And I'm telling you this because they've actually changed their evaluation model since then. Now they have an unlimited challenge and an elite challenge. The unlimited has 8% max drawdown, 8% phase 1, 4% phase 2. And the elite has a 10% max drawdown, 10% phase 1, and a 4% phase 2. So this challenge I've got here, I don't know what it's called, but I've actually got the best of both worlds because I've got the 10% max drawdown from the elite challenge and the 8% phase 1 profit target from the unlimited challenge. So yeah, I thought I'd let you know. The elite challenge is obviously a little bit more expensive because you've got the higher max drawdown. Yeah, I thought I'd let you know in case you think my objectives look a little bit weird. So I actually started this challenge in December, yep, and then we went straight into drawdown, around 7 or 8% drawdown, I believe. And I think it was at this point that I actually failed my $900,000 in challenges. It was literally right here, I believe. This one trade failed all those challenges, and from then on, I'm up 20% for the year. So it's quite funny how trading works out. It's always, it always does the most frustrating thing that it possibly could, by the smallest margin. But these frustrations, I think the way that you're able to manage them and how you react, how you respond to them is what makes you ultimately a good trader. So looking at these objectives, I took 35 trades, which is quite a decent amount. I think at this point I was experimenting with liquidity sweeps. Normally I would not really have as many trades as that in a 3 or 4 month period. I had a 42% win rate, which is pretty good. 1.64 profit factor, 2.18 average risk reward, which is all, these are fantastic stats. My average losing trade was $1,700. And my average winning trade was $3,800. So here's my phase 2 account above me here, and I'm afraid it's not going to be as interesting to analyze because I passed this one in one trade. So looking at the stats, I mean, I got 100% win rate. What can I say? I've got an 8,000 average winning trade. My average losing trade is 0. So, best trader in the world over here. It's quite funny. So one thing I just noticed interestingly about the objectives is that they don't have minimum trading days, which I think is fantastic. That is such a redundant rule because you can just use microlots to pass it. It's completely pointless. Perhaps they're trying to delay you between passing phases, but I don't know why they want to do that. Maybe their support can't manage the having to analyze each of the accounts to make sure that they haven't violated any of the rules, perhaps. I don't know why other firms do that, but yeah, I personally think that the minimum trading days rule is completely pointless. So yeah, good on them for having removed it. I do think that Blue Guardian is quite a modern prop firm. I think one of the main things that they're known for is their Guardian Protector. I'll show you that now, actually. So this is their equity protection tool, and I think it's what they were kind of initially known for when they were first founded. This is what they were really pushing about how they have this equity protection tool. And it's pretty good. Fair play to them. I mean, it shows that they don't want you to fail due to their daily drawdown rules, which I think is pretty reasonable of them. I didn't really use it. I did have it for my first account, which is what you're seeing here, but after that, I don't really exceed the daily drawdown limit of, I think it's 4% or 5%. I don't really take that many losses. And on my funded account, I don't use it either because I'm using 0.5% risk on those. So I never take 8 or 10% losses in a day. I mean, unless there's a crazy news event, I don't know, maybe one day. But you can see this light blue line represents my floating equity. The red line shows the daily drawdown rule, and the dotted blue line shows the equity protection that I'd set. So I'd set for it to close out all of my trades if I go into negative 3.5% drawdown on the day. And the reason not 4% is because, well, you want to leave a little bit of room for the account to survive, because of course it's not going to close you out at 4% exactly. So that's why there's a 0.5% buffer there. And I actually came pretty close to for it triggering here, but in the end it didn't, thankfully. And yeah, but you know, it's good to have this tool in the background. Another thing I want to note is at the time of recording this video, I have achieved a $6,000 payout on my funded Blue Guardian account. So I'll be able to make a video about the payout process, and you can expect that sometime within the next 2 or maybe 3 weeks. So now I'm going to go over the 4 trades that actually passed me this challenge. As I said, I'm going to go over them really briefly. And if you want to see me go over these trades in more detail, you can watch my trade recap for March. So we started off with 2 3% wins, so the 6% right here. I believe these took me out of that drawdown, and it was actually this flag here which ultimately took me over the line, I'm pretty sure. So a liquidity sweep, just looking for a break of the high and a retrace, essentially, if I'm going to simplify it. And the same as we break this low here, major low with all these pushes up within here, so you know that there's a lot of stops down here, and just looking for a shift back up. And taking a market execution with a 3R, boom, 6R right there. And then we started to see a trend out of this price action. You could say we're in a large descending channel. Really nice momentum up, no shift in the pullback candles, engulfing entry candle, trailing my stop all the way up to 5% risk reward. I'll show you the trades that passed me phase 2 now, or the trade that passed me phase 2. So here's the trade that passed me phase 2, all in one go, which is quite funny. We're with the uptrend, which is a positive thing. We're clearly trending to the upside, and we had this really tight flag formation here. There's nothing really wrong with this at all. I mean, my stop loss was tiny, so I was a little bit concerned about that, but price moved away with like 0 drawdown, and I trailed my stops here again for a 5.2% risk reward on that trade there. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. You can comment with this emoji to show me that you made it to the end. I really appreciate your time watching these videos, and I hope it has been informative if you're thinking about purchasing a Blue Guardian challenge. I'll put a link to Blue Guardian in the comments if you want to support me in the channel. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. And yeah, stay tuned and have a great week ahead, everybody. Thank you for watching.